Hi, Fashion Dolls. It is Thankful Thursday, June 13th, and welcome back to an all new episode of Style by Stevie. Our very special guest today is a part of the hottest cast ever of one of the most watched, highly anticipated shows there is, and that is Talks with Myself. I've had the pleasure of interviewing Roger, who is the creator of Finding Me and also Talks with Myself. And I've also interviewed some of the men on the show. This gentleman right here is very talented. His talent speaks for himself. He sings, he performs, he acts, he does it all. I hope you guys can hear me loud and clear. Can y'all hear me? Let me know. I am super excited about today's show, and it feels great to be back after that little break that I took this week. Did you guys miss me? I missed y'all because I know y'all miss me because I miss y'all. All right. So without further ado, let me go ahead and share this live with Dev so that we can get him in here. It is also Pride Month. It feels great to be back, Fashion Dolls. Can y'all hear me? Can y'all see me? Am I projecting clear? Is it an echo? Let me know, Fashion Dolls, so that we can dive right into today's conversation with our very special guest. Now, he has a performance coming up, and we're going to get into that in this interview as well, too. I know you guys wondering, where have I been? What have I been doing on that little break? I posted some things in my stories, if you guys have been watching, and some of the things that I've been posting was about basically just having a moment of clarity and taking time for myself. And sometimes you have to take a break and just regroup and get yourself back together in order to pull back the pieces of everything and make it perfect. Trust me, it is so worth it. Also, June is Pride Month, and it is also Mental Health Awareness Month for men. So it's important that Black men especially make sure that you are protecting your peace, make sure that you are taking care of yourself, and if you need to, talk to someone. You can't keep it bottled up inside. Hey, brother. A big shout outs to my brother K Tukes. Make sure you guys please go and check out his show, The K Tukes Spot, on YouTube. Can you guys hear me? Am I projecting clear? Is it an echo? Let me know. I have my earphones in just in case, Fashion Dolls. Hopefully everything will work great today. Let me send Dev a message and let him know that I am on. Do, 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 do. In the meantime, between time, I know you guys seen that announcement about the Supreme Court. Um, I'm excited. I'm excited. And I must also say this. I think that women as well as queer people should have the rights to their bodies, and nobody in legislative should tell us what we can and cannot do with our bodies. Um, that's why it's important that you guys have to get out. We have to get out and go vote, because this project 2025, I'm going to touch on that briefly a little bit before our guest gets here. It is very dangerous. It's not looking too good. So you have to make sure that you are letting your voice be heard, because every single vote counts. Every single vote. And what's more so important is that everything that we as people of color, I know you guys also seen the story I posted to my stories. Hi, Naptown. I'm back, y'all. I'm back. Your girl is back. The queen of fashion is back. I'm back, y'all. I'm super excited to be back. You guys are not getting one show today, but you guys are getting two shows back to back. Are y'all ready? Because I'm ready. Especially for the second interview, we are going to be talking to a Black fashion designer, Quirky Couture, and I'm super excited to have her here. She was referred by one of my viewers. Shout outs to my girl Frances, beautifully fashion. Definitely go and follow her if you are not. And today's guest, Dev, we're waiting on him to let him. I sent him live. I let him know that we're on. But in the meantime, I wanted to touch up on that. How have you guys all been doing? And yes, I posted a post this morning. I'm gonna address that too. I'm gonna talk about that real quick. I'm gonna say this. I'm a nice girl, and it takes a lot to get me to go there to push my buttons. But also, my brother K Tukes knows me very well. So shout out to my brother. It takes a lot to get me out of character, to get me angry. I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna say this once. I've spoken to people, and I'm a very sweet, friendly person. I speak, I say, hey, how you doing? They don't speak back. They don't crack their teeth. To me, that is one of my biggest pet peeves. That is very, very rude. Courtesy goes a long way because you never know what a person could be going through in their personal life or battling with. So it's important that you make sure that you greet everybody, speak to everybody. But I'm going to start treating people with the same energy that they give me. So, yes, my Scorpio antenna is up. You woke her up. And I'm going to say this as well. I try to be as sweet, kind, as gentle as possible to people. But when you greet me with the same energy of not speaking when I'm speaking to you, it's like, oh, okay. I'm going to give you that same energy back. No more Miss Nice Girl over here. So I just wanted to address that real quick. Get it off of my chest. And I feel so much better. We're going to have a smooth show today. Y'all ready to have some fun? Because we got 2 interviews, y'all, back to back. Now, my first guest, we're waiting on him. I'm not sure where he is. Let me give him a call. We might be both in a different time zone, but in the meantime, I'm gonna keep it going. Yes, thank you, brother. You know me so well. I don't bother nobody. I stay to myself, and I do this platform 5 days out of the week. Exactly, I'm back again. People get what you give them, and this is my thing. It's not been done once, but it's been done twice, and it takes twice to get under my skin. And that's the tipping point for me right there. So that's one of my biggest pet peeves is being ignored. That's rude. It's especially if you're greeting somebody, you're saying hello. It's just like some people in New York, when you walk past somebody, what do? They kind of brush you on the shoulder off a little bit. That's my thing. Make sure that you are speaking back to people because you never know what a person could be going through. Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I'm on, my love. We're waiting on you. We're live.
Uh,
Yes,
sorry.
I sent you the live via DM on the gram.
Gotcha.
Okay, we'll be here. I'm holding it down till you get here. All right, Fashion Dolls, Dev is on the way, but I wanted to talk to y'all about that. How do y'all feel? That is a part of the conversation before we jump into our guests on the way. I wanted to have that conversation because I know that a lot of people have been just battling with things mental health wise. Black men mainly. It is Mental Health Awareness Month for men. Now, May was Mental Health Awareness Month, but June is Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. And it's also Black Music Month, and it's also Pride Month. So happy Pride Month to my brothers and sisters that are in the queer community. You are valid, your voice is heard, and I will continue to be the voice for those who do not have a voice. So without further ado, let's welcome our very sexy, handsome, talented, very special guest. And I pray it works and there's no echo or anything going wrong. Dev Martel. Wait a minute. Hmm. Might have to do it this way. I don't even see. Okay. Okay, we might have to do.
I'm here.
I can't hear you.
You can't hear me? Oh, I don't know what's happening. Instagram.
Can you guys hear? We can see him, but we can't hear him.
I can hear you.
You can hear me? Okay.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, there we are. There we are. Perfect. All
You
right, I
can hear
have
me
to take
now?
my phone off. Yes, perfect.
Okay.
Is there an echo, ladies and gentlemen? Let me know. Give me purple and blue hearts. That is the theme for this season. Purple and blue hearts. If you guys can hear me and if you guys can see us.
Hey,
We'll wait. Yes, he's here, Fashion Dolls. Can you hear us? Can you see us? Is there an echo? All right, perfect. Thank you, brother. All right, let's get into it, my love. Welcome to the Dollhouse. How are you?
I'm well. Thank you for having me. I've been excited and looking forward to this for the past few weeks.
Yes, and I'm so glad to have you here. Now, before we get into this interview, How has 2024 been for you so far?
Ooh. 2024 has been interesting. Incredible highs. And, you know, God is in heaven and all is well. I can't complain.
All the time, all the time. Now, let's start on your journey in the beginning. Of course, you guys want to know about Talks with Myself, which is returning this summer of July. You guys have seen the flyer. We'll get into that. But when I sit down with my guests, I like to get to know their journey in the beginning. Way back when. Tell us where you grew up. How many brothers? How many sisters?
Oof.
And at what age did you develop the passion for music?
It's funny. Well, first of all, I grew up in, I don't know if you're familiar, I grew up in Rehoboth Beach, Delaware. Kind of Lewis, Rehoboth, small little beach town in small little Delaware. But it's a very great place to raise kids, great place to experience life, very LGBT friendly. It's kind of a gay resort, so it's a safe space to be. So I was fortunate in that way. The music bug kind of hit me when I was like 2 or 3. I was the kid who was always walking around the house singing, and my parents were always saying, "Can you be quiet, please?" Like, oh my god! But I was also the kid that they were pushing in front of people, saying, "Sing that song, sing that song." So it was. I've always had a very musical family. My family has been always very supportive about music and almost anything that I do. So I've been very blessed and fortunate. Yeah, I've had a boring, I had a rather non-interesting start.
You hear an echo? Okay, let me put the buds in. How about now? Can you guys hear me? Can y'all hear me, dolls? Can y'all see me?
We can hear you. I can hear
you. Every time I put my... How about now? I can't hear you guys. I meant to say.
It's probably an echo on my part, maybe.
We're going to keep it going. We're going to keep it going. All right? Now, you said growing up in Delaware, how many brothers and sisters?
I come from a very big family. But I have very, very only child syndrome. So I have, my parents were married and divorced. My grandparents played an integral part of raising me, taking care of me, that whole thing. So all together, collectively, you need a Venn diagram to try to parse things out with my family. But I have 5 brothers and I have 2 sisters.
Now, everybody, I know collectively, because I have siblings too, everybody collectively goes in their own career path and dreams. What was your parents' reaction when they said you want to do music? Of course, they were telling you to sing for people, but what was their reaction when you said, okay, this is something that I want to pursue, acting and music?
Well, to be honest, I was always a super nerdy kid. So I was the kid who, you know, instead of finding me outside playing baseball with the rest of the kids, I'd be hiding under a tree somewhere or in the house, tucked away in the corner, reading a book. So I was that kid. Science has always been a big thing for me. Very nerdy, very much the geek, comic books. My parents were very supportive when I was like, hey, I think I want to move to Washington, D.C. I got my start. I was very fortunate. I went to Georgetown University, graduated with a master's degree, science and nursing, then actually got an ED. So, you know, when you see Dr. Dev Martel, it is doctor. I'm actually in, you know, I'm getting my MD now. So music, and so I can kind of mix them all up. Music, science, acting. But my parents were very supportive. I was like, I'm going to Washington, D.C. I'm moving. I took this job at BET, which was the big thing back then. Donnie Simpson, you know, Cherry. It was an incredible opportunity. They were super psyched. My mom was and always has been amazing when it comes to supporting whatever I do. Biggest champion. Um, so I took that job, linked up with Billy Woodruff. I don't know if you know, some people may or may not know him. People of a certain age will know him.
It's an
Billy was
icon.
an incredible producer. He did all these videos. I got my first deal singing with Kadar, which was a division of Motown back in the day. So I was singing background for Chico Barge, Jesse Powell. I stumbled into Shantae Moore and Keith Washington, and so that's kind of where it happened really fast. And I kind of stumbled into actually professionally singing by accident, because I was tinkering around with the idea. I was in college. I was doing hair and makeup. Um, it was fun. I got asked to come to a studio session. Can you sing? I sang backup, and it was Keith Washington recording session. And 3 weeks later, I was talking in the Kadar offices, and they were saying, "Do you want a record deal?" So I kind of it took off super fast, and I was fortunate that way.
Look at God. And look at you now. Hi, Chef Ladybug. Welcome.
Hey.
Welcome if you're just coming in. Now, I'm going to go back for a minute. You said background. And you've mentioned some giants in the music industry: Keith Washington, Shantae Moore, Chico DeBarge. Growing up musically, who were some of your influences?
Ooh. I come from a very musical family, so but um, I looked at people, of course, Sam Cooke. I was listening to the Clark sisters. I was listening to, Luther Vandross, Toni Braxton, Mariah, Whitney. Um, Aretha was the penultimate in our household.
On the
Every
soul.
Sunday, the windows were open, the house was being cleaned, and you would hear Aretha playing, or you would hear Dinah Washington, um, Nancy Wilson, all of these people who were just classical standard singers who could just put it down. So growing up, those were my musical idols, my musical influences. And so I never really did never really did singing lessons. My grandparents were just very stand flat footed, sing, pass the music, go. And so that's just the way it was back then.
Now, from music to acting, growing up for you, at what age did you say, okay, I want to pursue acting as well? And who were some of your influences in the acting?
I never, I never wanted to be an actor, um, actually. But I mean, I would see, honestly, I would kind of get into a little bit of trouble when I was younger because I would see like Dynasty and I would see like Diane Carroll and be like, she's
Love
really
her.
amazing. And I would kind of pick parts of her and Billy D. Williams and actors like that, and say to myself, one day I want to have that grace, that elegance, that poise, that amount of command. Um, Acting was accidental. Um, I got asked to be a part of, um, ironically enough, Roger Omius, who directs and writes and produces Talks with Myself. I went to a birthday party and he was there, and I was doing some musical theater, and one of the other producers had asked me, "Hey, would you mind doing this Finding Me series that we're working on?" Because they were doing Finding Me then. And I remember saying, "I'm not an actor. I don't want to step onto a set and be embarrassed. You need somebody to sing on a spot for an episode. I got you, but acting, no." Um, I turned it down, to my regret. I turned it down, and years later, um, Roger reached out to me again, and was like, "Hey, we're doing this new series. It's an extension of That World. Talks with Myself." Not an actor, totally intimidated. He was like, "Dude, you can do it." Um, Stepped out of my comfort zone. Um, cast, let me just tell you, the brothers that I work with are so talented and so amazing. And they made me feel so comfortable and so at home. I've learned so much, grown so much as an actor. I've been offered quite a few things after, but I'm just very true to talks myself, and that's just my wheelhouse. I love the cast. I love what we're doing. I love what they're speaking to as far as the issues that we're tackling in the community and in and out of the community. It's an incredible thing and a wonderful opportunity. I'm just really fortunate and proud to be a part of it.
And when I interviewed some of your castmates, from Kenyon to Derek to Damien, they all said the same thing collectively. 4N as well too was also an artist as
Yeah.
well on the show.
Yes,
Um,
yes.
you guys have a brotherhood, and what I
Mm-hmm.
love what Roger did, I keep giving Roger his flowers. And when he
Love him.
came here and I interviewed him, I gave him his flowers as well too. I said you were right out during the time that Patrick Ian Polk created, just when Noah's Ark was starting to step on the scene. And I mean, this was developed after a short that he created in
Mm-hmm.
2003. Did you guys know that the short was
Yes.
originally, I mean, for Noah's Ark? That's what he came out with. You've seen the short, and it's out there somewhere. You guys can go and look it up. And then
Romy Pro TV.
a show. Yes. And it, I mean, we're both out during the same time, and they're parallel because they focused on things that go on within the queer community. And to now see a show where you see men of color touch on so many issues through trauma, finding romance. And I know y'all want to get to the sexy part. We'll get to that later.
Lots of sex
But
on this series.
yes, lots of it. But what I love is that you guys have a brotherhood. And I see that through the photo shoots. I see that when Roger posts things that are from behind the scenes. You guys have a camaraderie. Now, my question for you is, why is it we don't see enough Black representation of Black men within the queer community on television?
I'm going to say this, it may get me into trouble with some of the people that follow. I think the problem is that it's the old black tax that we have to pay. You know, the market is flooded with so much, I'm going to use this term, non-black or non-POC mediocrity. That when we put together a show or a series where we want to do something that is meaningful and impactful, that speaks to our community as a whole, we have to do the whole Gender Rogers thing. We have to do it backwards and in high heels and 3 times as good before it gets noticed. There's also, you know, a lack of just hard to articulate. There's just a lack of will for these larger spaces and these larger machines to want to put together and support Black productions, especially things that are ran by Black actors, Black writers. We're finding these spaces for ourselves. We're working our asses off to promote these things for our community. You have these greater machines that are like, okay, but we'd rather have a Sex in the City. You know, we'd rather have something that speaks to a predominantly white audience. When the reality is that when you go outside, what we watch should be reflective of the communities not only that we live in, but the communities that comprise America as a whole. You know, and everywhere else. So that's one of the biggest problems you can find. They just don't want to take the time, the investment, or to place the bet that a series like ours or any others could be super successful without some big machine behind it.
Absolutely. And the reason why I was making my face like that, because I've been saying that for the longest here on this platform, is that there's not enough representation within the Black queer community. That show, I mean, the only show that gave us that was probably Pose. That's years later after Noah's Ark and Finding Me. But there are so, mainly within the Black sector of the queer community. Black men, we don't see that. Or black trans women. And I know for me as a black trans woman, you guys, I know some of you are like, oh, you're past, listen, I would have never even considered myself as that, because it's still a risk for me even walking out in the real world. So the representation that I see for myself on television, the first person who did it was T.S. Madison, my girl. Shout outs to her. I mean, she broke the mold for black trans women to be represented. If not her, then Amaya. If not Amaya, then Laverne. All of these girls broke the mold so that I could be here, standing in this seat where I'm at right now. So there is a conversation that needs to be had as it pertains to the black queer community not being represented enough. And if they do, is that you see anti-blackness, you see colorism, you see all of these things within the black community. That's a deeper conversation. But as far as not including black people, so black queer people mainly, to write about their experiences in the writing room, when you have someone like Ryan Murphy, I mean, he gave us Pose.
Right.
It wouldn't hurt to have.
But it took a Ryan Murphy.
Right.
It took a Ryan. I mean, it's incredible. Incredible opportunity, but it took, Ryan Murphy, who's not a person of color, to step into that space and gracefully say there's so much history, there's so much richness in the LGBT community, and you guys are so integral to it. How do we tell your story? How do we celebrate the lives of trans women who were pioneers, and moving forward in order to get that acceptance?
Absolutely. And it's sad. When Roger was here, I really poured into him and I gave him his flowers, because not only did he start something along with Patrick Ian Polk, and now you've got Lena Waite. We're now seeing black queer filmmakers and writers as well too. And what I also love is that you have people that are stepping outside and creating their own rooms, which is like, okay, if you're not inviting me into this space, I'm going to go and create my own seat at the table.
Exactly.
And there needs to be a conversation had. This needs to be talked about, because it's not talked about enough. Again, when I turn on the television, I want to see myself represented. And shows like Finding Me, and when T.S. Madison came on and did her show, that was groundbreaking, because it's never been done. So we still have a lot of work to do as it pertains in the industry and how they want to show us as black queer people, as well as the black queer collective. We have a lot of work to do. And as of now, I want to see myself outside of, and I know some of you guys watch it, the Chasing Atlantas, the Chasing LAs. I want to see so much more of us outside of that.
We have to give our hats off to, interesting writer previously. But I was having this conversation with my friend yesterday, and I was just like, we have to give, you your flowers. You give people their flowers. I've seen incredible interviews you've done with Boykin. But we have to give people like you your flowers. You're creating these spaces, and you're saying, this is what representation is. Even you taking a stand, being a beautiful trans woman and saying, here I am, but I'm not one dimension. My transness does not, simply define my identity as a whole. You're a writer. You're a television personality, you're a fashion editor and writer, you're all of these things that make you you, and for you to create this platform and beyond it, and give these interviews and say, representation is representation, but you setting the tone as someone who's a part of our community, because a lot of people want to take the team out of our community, within our community. Let's keep it real. So seeing trans men and trans women who walk through life, who are defiantly saying, I am who I am, and you don't have to like it, but you will accept who I am on your own terms. That's a beautiful thing. So, to people who create spaces, like you, who are trans, it's just a beautiful thing.
Dev, you're not about to make me cry my lashes off.
No, don't cry your lashes off, baby. You look good today.
You're not about to make me cry my lashes off up here. Y'all always pour into me and give me my flowers. And I love what Naptown just said in the comments, which is, I'm overseeing my Black community in a negative light.
Yes.
Like, we are so multifaceted. And for me, growing up, what did we watch? We watched shows like Good Times. We watched shows like The Jeffersons. We watched shows like Martin, Sanford and Son. It's so, I mean, Black people, we are not a monolith. Shows like that showcased us in a different light,
Yes.
you know, and we're not one dimensional. And that's what I want to show here on my platform as well, too. I'm not going to be like other hosts. I had one of my guests, he asked me the question. He said, his name was Jonathan. And he asked me, he said, what is going to set you aside from other hosts of their platforms? I said, I'm not going to be like my brother K-Tubes. He has his thing with how he does it. And I take pointers from him, he takes pointers from me. So, I mean, we all feed off of each other's energy, and there's no competition.
That's beautiful, because that's
yes, and we're not divided. The thing about it is we support each other, whereas people think that it's like a rivalry between us. That's another thing that goes on within the queer community. It's like it's rivalry, and it's just like we have to work together more than ever to let our voices be heard. We have bigger issues to work on. As a Black collective, as Naptown mentioned in the comments, I'm tired of seeing us in a negative light too. Like, we're multifaceted, and we can be shown in so many lights. I want to see us as doctors, as lawyers, as head of their own companies.
You know, I think that's part of the bigger problem. Well, we know that's part of the problem. You know, it's been about divide and conquer. I was, having the conversation a few weeks ago with one of my friends, and she was so frustrated as an actress. It was like, they keep creating these spots where six of us are auditioning for this role, the same six women. And same six Black women, and they're pitting us against each other constantly. And it's the creation of this dynamic where some of the women are like, there can only be one of us. And I want to be that one. And the rest of you be damned. And sometimes we have to learn to realize that if we're walking into spaces where they're saying that only one of you is good enough, that's the moment where we should be collectively working together to create a space that says, no, we are the rule and not the exception. And we are all welcome. You know, it's just a tale as old as time.
Because I walk in that space of Black woman, but I can't take away the trans. People know that up front. I mean, but it's people that's just out of curiosity. And she's one of my favorite fashion icons. People didn't know whether she was a man or a woman, Grace Jones. So with me, I get the same thing. It's difficult for me because I already have so many obstacles against me. I'm dark skinned, I'm Black, trans, and woman. And I'm a part of the queer community. I represent the T. So I walk in that space. So that's another issue that I've had as well too. And I've interviewed some of my other female guests as well too on the platform, and they said, why? And I asked them, why do they pit us against each other? It's just like we're all up under the umbrella of oppression. We have bigger fish to fry. And it goes back to what Naptown said in the comments. Let me see if I can pin that comment, because that is so true. Yeah. I'm gonna pin that. Yeah. The industry does that to Black women because we're Black. We have so many strikes against us. We have to worry about misogyny. We have to worry about colorism. We have to worry about texturism. We have to worry about featureism. We have to worry about body image. We have to worry about all of these things that keep us as Black women divided. And me being a curvaceous 5'7", 200-pound woman, I have to navigate through this world and worry about all of these things that are being thrown at me while hosting this platform. So, again, this is why we have to create our own outlets. And I've had offers, yes, to go mainstream, but it goes back to what Dev said in the beginning of our conversation, which is about the industry and how it works and, you know, the machine.
And how much of yourself you lose if you concede your platform, to a bigger thing going mainstream.
And I've had offers. Lord knows I would have wanted to be on with Tamron and Sherry and Jennifer. I would have loved to. But it's not for me. I don't want to do that. Because I've seen people get in this industry, in this business, and they lose sight of themselves. And then I think it was Tupac. I watched an interview with Tupac, and Tupac was saying how money changes people. He was talking about Donald Trump
Yes.
in an interview, and how money is the root of evil, and how the industry itself can change you. Don't let the industry change you. I remember him, God rest his soul, because he was dropping some gems before he passed away. I'm a girl from South Carolina. I'm not about to let the industry change me. I would rather be humble and down to earth and just have a platform where people understand. And then this is real. If you decide to get into this business, you need to see the ugly and the pretty that comes along with it. So I'm not going to sugarcoat anything or water myself down. And rest her soul as well, too. She was a black trans woman who founded the House of LaBeija, Crystal LaBeija. She was not one to water herself down. And neither is T.S. Madison. And that's why I appreciate these women, because they stand firm in their truth. They walk in their truth, as well as myself, and they give it to you unapologetically. And that's one thing that I can say about her, as well as Marsha P. Johnson and James Baldwin and any of these other activists who are saying, hey, you're not going to tell me to tone down who I am. I'm going to walk in authentically myself. And that's why I choose not to be up under a network such as CBS or NBC or any of these other platforms. I would rather do it where it's coming from a place that is real, so that people know, hey, this is what you can get yourself into if you're getting into the entertainment business, because everybody sees the glitz, they see the glamour, and they don't see the hard work and stuff that goes on behind the scene, the things that the actual person has to endure to get to that position. So I'm going to show you the ugly as well as the beautiful. And that's why I created my platform here, and I do it the way that I do it. I could have took those offers, but I'm just saying, no, not this girl right here. No.
It just amazes. It kind of befuddles me too. The fact that again, community often gets divided with all of the isms. But it's also kind of a beautiful thing the way that our community, even though there's so much division and so many isms coming at us, we somehow still find a way as a community to galvanize when we need to, and to celebrate the things that uniquely make us us. Not everyone, but the majority of us, I can say, I've seen some beautiful things. We're talking about your show, we're talking about TS, talks with myself, which is one of the whole reasons why it's being done is to show black men, black gay men in a light, where we are more than just pain, where we are more than just downtrodden or subject to abuse or vapid, all the things that people assume that people are. We've taken on rape, we've taken on how we see each other socioeconomically in the LGBT community on the show. We've taken on the dynamics of friendship. And I know we're filming, I can't give too much away, but some of the episodes that we're filming now, Roger was very intentional with regard to saying, we are more than our trauma. So we need to celebrate the spaces that we walk in, where we can uniquely be ourselves, in love, whole, unencumbered by the baggage that follows a lot of us. TV kind of often gets lost in that pocket of trauma's exciting, show people your trauma, but very rarely are we showing people just how beautiful it is to authentically live as who we are. And so I'm looking forward to finishing filming these incredible scenes that we're going to be doing that kind of speak to that.
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, let me know if it is an echo. We're going to keep it going with this conversation. If you guys have any questions for myself or Dev, I hope you guys are enjoying this conversation, because this is imperative to a lot of people that are within the Black queer community. Sometimes we sit back and we watch shows and we're just like, hey, where is the representation for us? And I know for me, being trans, being Black, being a woman, I turn on the television. It's an echo?
Yeah,
Okay.
there's
Let
an
me try.
echo. Is the echo when I speak, or is it?
How about now? Can y'all hear me? Is it an echo?
It may be an echo on my part. I think we're good. I think it should be good.
All right. Can y'all hear me now?
We can hear you. I can hear you. I don't know if they can.
Is it an echo? Is it going away? We're going to keep it going. We're going to
Oh,
keep
I
it
see
going.
my friend Yorelis just joined. What's up, Yorelis? I miss you, love.
Oh, Chef Ladybug says it's when you speak.
It's when I speak. Now, how do I remedy that on my end? Hmm.
Let me see. Because I put in my earbuds to see if that would help. Try to come out and then come back in to see if that will help.
Come out and come back in? Okay.
Yes. And then I'll add you back
Okay.
and see if that'll help. We'll keep the conversation going, Fashion Dolls. All right, so I'm going to add Dev back. I'm waiting on his request. Hopefully that helps. Okay, is it an echo now, Fashion Dolls? I'm just waiting on Dev to come back in so that we can continue on with this conversation because, again, you guys are not getting one show today. You're getting two shows. And I just seen Quirky Couture just come in, so she is up next. So okay, I see Dev now. Okay, let me add Dev back. Let's try now. All right.
Howdy. Is it better?
Can y'all hear right now, Fashion Dolls? Can y'all hear?
Can you hear me? You can hear me, right?
Yes, I can
Okay.
hear you perfectly.
I don't hear an
I
echo
don't
now.
hear an echo on my end.
Perfect. So, where were we?
We were talking about representation within the media for Black queer people and what that means, seeing ourselves on the screen. And you've talked about Finding Me and how much of the things that I touched on as well too were covered on this show. And I asked Kenyon the same question. I know, was it difficult for him filming some of those scenes? And I'm pretty sure you were there on set to see some of the scenes. The scene where he woke up on the park bench and he didn't know what happened. Damien even touched on it as well too. Some of those scenes, but that happens within our community, and people don't believe it. They're just like, "Oh well, it's two men," or that person can defend themselves. It's just like, no, this person was traumatized. This happened, and you can't deny the person because they're male.
Yeah, it happens often. I mean, I know personally myself, I've been roofied um, in a bar before, twice actually. I've been roofied. Um, I've never drank, smoked, done a recreational drug in my life, and so luckily I had friends there who kind of noticed what was happening. Um, and the first instance, the gentleman that actually was trying to put me over his shoulder and carry me out of the bar. And my friends were like, "Oh, no, 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 what is happening?" His rationale was he drank too much. But luckily, my friends were like, "He's never drank a day in his life. Something is wrong." Um, so things like that happen. So when Roger was writing that, and then they started doing that, it kind of touched home for me because I was like,
Triggered.
"This happens." You know, it happens, almost everywhere we go, but it's so not talked about. And you're right, the people tend to overlook rape, date rape, things like that because it happens to us as men. And so they tend to kind of negate our vulnerability as men for these things to happen. Even with domestic violence, working with like the channel, people tend to forget that domestic violence happens in and out of every single community that we walk through.
And it doesn't matter if you're male or female. I just recently had a conversation with the lineup this week that I have is all men. My very special guest is coming on with me Friday is men, except for the exception of my other guest today, Quirky Couture, black woman. The rest of the lineup this week has been men, and it's Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. This triggers a lot of black men who've experienced this. And I put something up because I'm pretty sure you've seen, Dev, what happened with Michael Rainey Jr. from Power.
Yeah.
I put up something and I lit into 50 Cent literally, and I tore him up again on the show this week. This is some stats for you who do not know. 14.8% of black men have experienced trauma other than rape. And it says that 40.1% of black men have experienced partner SA and their relationships are in a lifetime. These numbers are staggering to me. And the reason why is because the black community for so long has programmed black people in the black collective that we have to sweep these things up under the rug and not talk about them. Mainly black men. Black men were told that they have to hide their emotions. If they cry or they show any sort of emotion, or if they tell somebody, oh, you're a man, you can defend yourself. If Michael was to put his hands on this young lady who did this to him, they could have spun the narrative and they could have said, oh, well, this is a black man attacking a woman, but it's the complete opposite. The woman overstepped her boundary and touched this man inappropriately.
Yes.
That's what it is. And a lot of people don't believe that men can experience this, but yes, men can experience this. Not just women, not just it happened to us, but it can happen to men too. And for other black men in the black community to poke fun and make light of something so sensitive, it's dangerous and it baffles me. Because the same thing happened to Terry Crews as well too, when the whole Harvey Weinstein stuff was coming out. And Cat Williams said this when he did that interview. He said that 2024 is the year of awakening for a lot of people. A lot of stuff that is coming out right now about Puffy, about all of these artists, y'all's favorite hip-hop artists, they're starting to come out. So what's done in the dark is now coming to the light. So as it pertains to black men, keeping silent about the trauma that they've experienced is because the black collective look down and they're looking at them as less of men because they're saying this happened to me. It doesn't make them less than, it makes them heroes. It makes them survivors for coming out and telling their stories. And you have no right to sit back, how dare you, and tell someone that, hey, you don't need to talk about this. It'll be okay. Because you basically, 50 Cent basically just said it was an aggressive advance. And then he said, oh, he's fine. Laughed it off. But what about the
also,
other?
piggybacking on that, there's that misogynistic view, of if you're a man, why would you not enjoy it? Buck up, be a man. As far as the young man being broke, it was so what? You had someone broke you, and if you're a man, you should have enjoyed it. You should have been glad that someone wanted to. There's that whole victimize the victim thing.
Gaslighting, and they do it all the time. It happens in the jails as well too. And people just brush it off because they're like, man, they can defend themselves. But if he would have put his hands on this young lady, that could have totally, he's at the height of his career right now. He's 23 years old. And if he would have done this would have damaged his career instantly. Because they could have took the story and said, well, it's a black man attacking a woman, but it's the complete opposite in this case. So to any of the black men out here who are survivors or who've experienced trauma, now's the time to speak up and tell your truth, tell your story. Because there are so many people out here who have stories to tell, who are survivors who've encountered the same thing as well. So for talks with myself to touch on an issue so heavy, Roger was spot on. And I told him that as it pertains to finding me as well too. He covered mental health. Way before shows started showing the raw, ugly truth, we've seen it in Finding Me, the series. And I
Yeah.
say, you are ahead of your time. You touched on things, whereas now mental health, whereas wasn't really talked about as then, now it's really being talked about because black men are starting to seek therapy. Black men are starting to open up. It is Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. June is Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. And we are now starting to see men be more vulnerable and open up and say, hey, I'm not feeling my best. It's okay to not be okay because this is traumatizing. And for Kenyon's character, Morris, on the show, to kind of wake up, and then when they did the group therapy scene, to talk about it, whereas dating, relationships, and how that affects you in dating and relationships because of trauma, I'm glad that Roger touched on that because it's all in the queer community. DV is in the queer community as well, too. It's just not talked about as much. They try to laugh it off like, oh, it's two men. They can defend themselves. Yeah, but one of these men is a victim and a survivor.
Yes. It's just, again, just it's just a terrible thing when people look at someone who has been traumatized in that way, and a lot of times they brush it off because it's reflective of their own trauma, of the things that they've experienced within sometimes their homes, sometimes in their own families. And so there's that shame cycle that comes along with that they aren't ready to necessarily look at themselves, and that makes them more apt to sweep things under the rug or to, not acknowledge or honor, what some people have experienced as far as, trauma issues. I remember when we were talking about when Roger was writing that, and we were doing all of this filming, and it's filmed in a way that's non-linear, so it kind of jumps all over. So even us as cast members, we were like, "Who did this?" Oh my God, there was this anger. As us, for us in the cast, there was this anger, looking at each other and saying, "Which one of our characters is capable?" Versus, the typicality of sometimes saying, "Don't talk about this. Let's not show this." That person should be okay. Roger just kind of dug right in and was like, "No, we're going to acknowledge this. We're going to put this front and center and make people who aren't familiar, aren't comfortable rather, you know, with seeing these things, that be the entire purpose, because it's not comfortable, and it shouldn't be comfortable. It is something that should be so uncomfortable when you see it that it makes you say, this can't happen, we need to talk about it. How do we move through it, or help prevent it, or get awareness out about it? Those things I just love, again, what we did. And God knows, I have to give it up to Kenyon, and I, just all of my castmates are just so incredible, and watching them learning and giving their lines and committing to it all is amazing. Now, as a lighter side, I'm the guy who, there's a joke on set because I'm the guy who does 7 or 8 takes, sometimes 15. I kid you not. We've had one scene where I had to do it 15 times because I would either flood my lines. And most of the time, I'm so taken by what we're doing, I get lost in the emotion. So I'm the retake guy.
Now, we've covered a heavy subject. We're going to get on to a lighter note about talks with myself. And you know where I'm going. You guys were waiting for it. Y'all ready? I had to hold off because I wanted to touch on that. The sex on the show is definitely, it's hot. And I asked Derek and Kenyon as well about filming the scenes. The funniest thing that has happened to you on set, and how do you feel filming these intimate scenes? Because we've seen the scene with you and Derek in the car and the fence. It was hot. So, and I know the viewers want to know as well too. What is it like for you? How do you prepare for the intimate scenes on the show? And the funniest thing that has happened while filming an intimate scene on the show?
I'm mean, as far as preparing, I mean, have you seen some of my castmates? It's easy. But no, it's weird because we're all brothers, and we are all very professional. We joke around and laugh a lot to make each other feel comfortable. Because there are scenes where you're in your underwear, you're in a thong, and you have to have this scene where you're trying to be passionate, and you're trying to make it look like these characters are just really getting it in. So there is an amount of sensuality and sexuality that you have to kind of pull from yourself to not make it look like you're watching paint dry. So getting into those scenes, you kind of pump yourself up, and you're telling yourself, if I were with the person that I love, how would I express this passion, this love to this person? And it comes off. I've had partners that were not always happy about seeing those scenes. But it's just so professional. I'm lucky. My character has been with several people on the show. All of them very attractive and beautiful men. And so for me, doing the scenes that I've done, the kissing, the sex, let's just say we're not a hardship.
There you have it, fashion dolls. There you have it. Because we always wanted to know, filming these type of scenes can be very, very difficult because there's so many people standing around on set watching, and you don't have like a brotherhood. And then going back and watching, and I'm pretty sure something has happened. So the funniest thing that has happened to you guys while on set filming?
Well, I don't know if you've seen our blooper scenes, but we have blooper reels, and we have some serious scenes where we are like, wow. But for the most part, we laugh our way through every single shoot, every single production. It is black boy joy on our set. And so we had so many funny moments. I can't even name them. I remember Derek and I were preparing to do the car scene. And I remember, we film outside, and sometimes it's cold. The weather was being like super bipolar. And we were filming in the car. I'm kind of a tiny guy. But I remember Derek is a muscly kind of guy, and he was so thick, and I was sitting on his lap, and every time I move, my head is hitting the roof of the car. So we're doing the whole scene. I think Roger waits until like 15 minutes into the scene, and he's just like, "Do you have a concussion? Because all we see is your head hitting the ceiling." And I'm like, doing my best to get this shot, and the whole time I'm just saying to myself, I keep hitting my head. I hope no one is seeing this. And I think we just lasted like 35 minutes, and like for the next 4 shoots about it. We have such a good time. I remember my pants splitting on set, and everything just kind of falling out. We've had some funny moments. I just can't say that. It's a brotherhood where you can just imagine sitting somewhere with your siblings and reminiscing about every funny moment that you've had. It's just a non-stop beautiful laugh fest.
Now, the last thing before we let you go, because it is 4 p.m. Fashion Dolls, our next guest. I told you guys were getting 2 shows today. You have a performance coming up, and you're the headliner July 13th. So tell us a little bit about that before we let you go.
So, unshameless plugging here. Yes. So I have a show coming up in Chandler. Perform there quite often. At the table now. I also have a couple of other shows coming up. I have something coming up at the Listening Booth in Newport Beach, Delaware on the 5th of July. I have a few other dates that we're plugging in. I'm trying to keep my summer not busy because my daughter just graduated from high school, so she'll be going off to college. So I'm trying to right. I'm so proud of her. So I'm trying to keep my summer light and also balance our filming schedule because we have some episodes we're filming. So I have about 7 or 8 shows that are coming up that I will, I'll make sure to keep everyone posted and filled in.
All right, Fashion Dolls, you got to stay tuned. And Talks with Myself also returns the summer of July next month coming up as well, too. The flyer is up, and Kenyon is definitely killing it in that shot. Roger just does an amazing job when you guys shoot together for these shoots, doing the promo for this show. So, real quick, before we let you go, what can we expect? In one word, what can we expect from your character this season? In one word.
One word. Ooh. Messiness.
That's all we needed to know. Stay tuned. You guys have to stay tuned with Fashion Dolls. And
Thank you for having
before
me.
we let you go, yes, final words of encouragement that you would like to give to your brothers and sisters that are in the queer community. It's Pride Month.
For Pride Month, words to the wisdom just in the community. Don't set yourself on fire to keep other people warm. Let your light be a zenith. And, just live and love and share as brilliantly and as boldly as we possibly can.
And to add on to that, authentically, walk in your truth, stand firm in who you are, and never let anybody water you down or tell you you need to do this in order to fit in, because for so long, queer people, we have been taught that we have to fit in. No, it's time to stand out. So,
this was fun.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I wish we could do it longer, but we had almost an hour conversation. So I got to have you back again in the fall. We got to have you back.
Of course. All right. Well, thank you. I look forward to it.
You are so welcome. And where can everyone follow you and check you out?
They can check me out mostly on Instagram at Dr. Dev Martel. And at DevMartel.com.
All right, Fashion Dolls. There you have it. And coming up next, Quirky Couture, Let's Talk Fashion. She is joining me. So I'm going to start a new live. You guys go refresh your drinks and snacks and come back. Again, you're getting a second show today. 2 for 1, all right? Thank you so much, Dev. Had such a great time. Take care, Fashion Dolls.